Hello, everyone. Hello, work from home warriors. Welcome to the Digital Drop Live. It's back 9 a.m. Eastern Time every single weekday. As you can see, we're all pretty toasty. It's morning time. We got our coffees. Cheers to you. And in today's episode,
Gentlemen.
we are compelled to help you guys out because we are very alarmed, as everyone is, by the current situation in the world right now with coronavirus, with 3.5 million unemployment claims alone in the US being filed last week. We want to help you guys learn how to make money working from home. Because all three of us have been doing this for close to a decade and about a decade in my case. And we want to talk to you today about what really works when it comes to working from home, what opportunities are out there. And trust me, we're going to tell you about opportunities you've never even thought of, how you actually get those opportunities and how you have to change your life to work from home versus being in the office. We've got a lot of really good advice and tips for you guys on that. And we're going to talk about specific platforms that you can use to go get opportunities, side hustle opportunities, consulting opportunities, different ways to put together some income. You know, they just passed that stimulus bill here in the United States, guys. I'm sure you guys saw the headlines. It's going to put a little bit of money in people's pockets, but guys, I don't think it's going to be anywhere near enough to really cover everyone's bills during this time. What do you guys think?
No, I think it's nice, but it's going to be a drop in the bucket for a lot of people. And realistically, I think this is going to go on for a lot longer, at least in the US. I mean, we can obviously be talking here about working from home in other places too. But we are all US citizens. So we kind of come at it from that perspective. And this is going to go on for some more time. So if you are ever curious about working from home and taking that jump start to get there, this is a great time to try it. This is like the perfect time where you're forced to be at home and you're forced to try to figure it out. And hopefully what we say today can be helpful for you.
Totally agree. Okay, yeah, so here's what we're going to do, guys.
100% agree.
100% agreement across the board. Great. So let's go ahead and look at the opportunities that are out there first and foremost. So what opportunities are there? So the number one opportunity for anyone working from home is to do consulting, actually, in different capacities, to get instant money, consulting. So people hiring you to do just different contract jobs. You can call it contracting. And some of the opportunities we've talked about on the show in the past include social media management, graphic design in particular, video editing as well. And let's talk about those three opportunities because the reason why we talk about them is they are in extremely high demand, even right now, with the economy and the state that it's in. And but the supply is super, super low. So social media management, I'll kick it over to you, Ross. You're a professional social media manager. You manage celebrity comedians. You've got your own socials that get billions of impressions every single month. What kinds of opportunities are really out there for social media management? What can people think about with those jobs, and what are those jobs like? Just to give them an idea. We're trying to spark their interest here in what opportunities are out there.
Right. Well, there's a ton of opportunities when it comes to social media out there because just because people aren't going to work doesn't mean businesses aren't up and running. And because we're in this digital age where a lot of things are done online anyway. So a lot of places are, they're still going to be selling things online. They're still going to be working on brand awareness. They're still going to be customer relations. So there's so many opportunities with social media. The thing that you just need to concern yourself with is putting together a portfolio. And obviously there's not a lot of time to do that, but putting together a, spiffy portfolio, with all of your social media expertise on there, and then continue to start to reach out, which we'll get into later. But, from social media, and like I said, one of the reasons it's such a good work from home job is because it realistically is a 24/7 job. There is no off days in social media. You're not doing the 9 to 5. So if you're in social media, you're essentially going to be working from home anyway, if you're actually doing your job correctly. So, and if there's a lot of employers out there that see that, now's the time. Yeah. So, and that's really about, where it is right now. It's still going to be tricky to get into because now everybody's trying to get into it. Literally
Well,
everybody.
that's why we're going to give
everybody
people the
who's
edge.
ever had a
That's
Facebook
what,
page.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Peop-
I'll just throw it back to you at that point.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's working from home. I don't know if you can hear my kids in the background. My kid is literally banging the door down. Everybody's competing for these types of jobs now, but the big opportunity is companies are realizing they can't do their normal communication methods. They aren't necessarily going to be able to go film TV spots. They aren't necessarily going to be able to do the normal types of advertising and normal types of marketing for their company anymore. They have to go leaner. They have to go internet. And so I think we're going to see a huge shift in the economy around the world toward work from home right now. And toward, in particular, marketing is going to push even more away from traditional marketing into social and digital, because everybody's going to see how cost effective it is to hire somebody like Andrew Perrin to work from his home, or one of you in the audience to work from your home to manage those socials. Perrin, we'll move on to the next one real quick because there's tons of more opportunities. How much money can a social media manager make on like a per job, per hour, per whatever basis, so people can have an understanding of how much extra cash they could put in their pocket right now if they land some gigs? Didn't you just land a part-time gig that involves social media management too? Like, give everybody just an idea about the money that's involved.
Yeah, I mean, I would say probably the average for me, based on when I started out, actually my most recent contract is in this area, but anywhere from like 2,000 to 3,000 a month is a pretty average, even a part-time contract. And that's actually pretty easy to land. And that's just, if you think about that, that's just part-time one client. And we can get into that more in a little bit. Like, you should definitely be looking for more than a single client. That's something that we've learned over time, but you can make anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 a month. You can make less than that if you go to different sites, depending on what tools you're using. Maybe you only make a couple hundred, but you're working with very small time clients. Or you can land a big time client who pays a full time salary upwards of 80,000 a year, which we've been in gigs and had clients that have been all range of those type of pay scales, with all range of benefits too. Like, I've found remote consult clients that also actually offer some benefits. I would say that these are rarer. Don't expect that going into this, but it is possible as more companies lean towards understanding the value of a remote workforce and start to utilize that as a power in their company more. Some companies who do understand that, they start to give their consultants more benefits, such as a health plan, such as W-2s, such as helping with taxes and putting together HR benefits and HR systems for the remote consultants to use. We've been lucky to have a client like that, and I've been lucky to have a client like that in the past. Yeah, the pay can range. So you're not just going in there and you're not just coming on the internet looking to make a couple $100, in a month. There's real work that companies need, and the cool benefit that this has, and the reason why you guys should be looking at it, is because you're no longer limited geographically to applying places that you can travel to. Once you go online, the world is your workplace. So any country, any place that you can speak your languages and you have something to offer, there's somebody out there, there's some company, there's some entrepreneur, there's some employee, there's some connection out there where you can fill in a need and get paid for it. And it's just a matter of finding that.
That makes sense. And look, the other two opportunities we've been talking about, graphic design and video editing, on those you can get paid anywhere from like $25 an hour up to, I've seen up to $100 per hour doing those sorts of gigs. And you can get paid on a per design basis. And it's similar to what we're talking about with social media management, where companies are going to need more and more remote contractors to do their video editing and to do their graphic design from your home. Because they aren't going to be able to, and they're not going to want to pay people to sit physically in their office and have to buy their computer for them, buy their free coffee, buy their desk, pay for that overhead. They're going to do contractors. That's your opportunity to go get those gigs. Okay. So you mentioned a moment ago about remote employment. So there are ways to get full-time jobs remotely, semi-employee-like, even employee-like you mentioned. I'm currently working for a company that offers that. You guys have worked for companies that have offered that too, where they just straight up pay you a salary to be more or less full time with them to get them at least 40 hours per week. Those gigs exist. We're going to tell you about how to go be discovered for those gigs here toward the end of the podcast. And then the obvious path for so many of you guys is going the creator path. Now, I want to say a few words about this, and I want to get your opinion on this, guys. But right now, if you're hurting in this economy and you just lost your job and you're looking for a way out, being a creator is not the best way to get income in short term. Creator is a long-term thing. And you're talking about a years-long timeline to ramp up your income to a place where it could start replacing a real job. What do you guys think? I mean, I would put creator down toward the bottom of the list on things that you should do if you actually need the money to pay your bills, support your family, just support yourself. What do you guys think?
I totally agree.
Yeah,
it's for one. Sorry, go ahead, Aaron.
I was just going to say
what I was saying.
A little bit of lag.
The lag is struggling. I'm just going to talk. If you want to interrupt me, feel free, Aaron. We can be rude with each other. We don't care. No, I totally agree with what AWOL just said, and that also in that list includes trying to be an influencer, whether it's social media, YouTube, whatever it may be, because content creation alone is so time consuming. And the situation that a lot of people are in now is you're just simply not going to have that time. Putting in all that time for, a few cents off an ad on a YouTube video, it's simply not worth it. That's not paying your bills. And right now we are in a place, I mean, most people are in a society where all your time right now needs to be focused on paying your bills, because unfortunately they're still going to come due at the end of the month. And when you're pumping in 80, 90 hours a week into content creation for a goal that, like AWOL just said, is going to take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, it's just not smart right now.
Yeah, with being a creator, you need to have the resources to jump off to become a creator. And you also need the time. And what we're talking about, the situation where most of us, all of us are in right now, we don't have that luxury. Maybe you do. Maybe you have a lot of resources, and now is the time where you have the free time to build that up. But understand, it's still going to take years. It's still going to take a lot of time. So if you're looking or relying on the income from it, you're not gonna have that. So we have a question here from Zypher. He asks, I'm trying to do commissions where I make headers for $5, but he can't attract anyone. Would this be a good segue, guys, for us to go into talking about exposure, or do we want to wrap up this other topic first?
No, let's talk about it. So
Do it.
Let's talk about how to attract clients. Let's just skip straight to that. So I'm going to put up live graphics. Look at that. How to attract clients. So Zypher, he's one of my most engaged people in my community. So thank you for the question. Zypher, there could be a couple issues with anyone out there that's trying to get business. So number one, patience is the number one thing you have to have, and persistence. So it's possible that you could be looking for gigs for a 1 month or 2 month and get no hits. And then on month 3, you're overwhelmed with opportunities and you can no longer handle all of the clients that are coming in. In my experience, guys, and you guys can probably speak to this too, whenever opportunities come in, they come rolling in like 5 at a time, to where I'm like, damn it. Like, how come I didn't see these opportunities last month? And now I have to pick like 1 or 2 out of the 5, maybe 1 out of the 5, and turn down maybe a couple that I really, really wanted. And so I see consulting and work from home opportunities coming in a wave, and then it's level after the wave and it's calm and you're like, uh-oh. And then another wave comes in. That's the way it goes for me. A consistent stream of job opportunities coming in isn't the way it is for me. It sounds like you guys are nodding. You're like, yep.
Yeah. Every time, and I would run into this a lot before I learned to go multi-client and not rely on like a single large client, because that would happen and eventually my contract would run out, and then I'd be like stuck in the spot where I'd have to ramp up and find opportunities, and there'd always be this big gap where nothing was happening. Like I'm grinding away, I'm trying to get the word out there, get exposure, try to make some connections, and nothing would happen for a little while. And then suddenly when I get one good opportunity coming in, they would like all come streaming in. So Zypher, to answer your question, maybe a little bit more specifically, keep working at different angles of getting your talent, your skill set out there. Use social media. Be proactive. If you're doing banners, if you're doing headers, and I'm assuming maybe YouTube headers is what you're talking about, or whatever, any other designs, maybe even social media headers. Be proactive. Like if you're, for say, a gamer, go into Twitch, find streamers who have poor ones, go in there and kindly ask them. They'll go in there and spam like, hey, I'm going to do headers, and do a copy paste. Like, be a member of their chat. Say, hey, I noticed you have a header. I could totally do a better one for like $5, right? And if you put your word out and you keep at it, you will get stuff in return, but you might not see it right away. So it can be frustrating for a little while. It can be nerve-wracking, and that like, I'm not making any money. This isn't working. Keep at it. Have some persistence, and eventually you will start to get noticed. And when that happens, normally the floodgates open up, like AWOL is saying.
Yeah, it's so weird how that works, where you don't get anything, and then literally it's just like a avalanche of opportunities just fall on you. But to add to what Ashwell just said, another idea when you're talking about getting the headers for $5 can attract anyone. Another idea for this, and it's real simple, make that all your social media. Every header, everything that you've designed, start loading it up on social media, start posting it out. Tag the clients that you did it for. If you didn't do it for any clients, don't worry about it, because it also adds one thing that I noticed a lot of employers, and I've actually been told this, is passion. They want to see passion. And when you fill up all your social media, where it looks like your life is now just designing headers, cheap, but well put out headers that look great. You're tagging the clients that you work with. That shows a lot. That shows a lot of initiative. That shows that this isn't just a job for you, but it's more of a lifestyle. And you can also, a lot of clients and stuff that you do that with, they'll retweet you, or they'll share that you tagged them on it. And then that opens you up to even more and more opportunities.
I agree. And I'm going to show you a real life example, so you don't just have to listen to us talk about what it could be like to do this. I'm just going to show you somebody that's crushing it, that we've worked with in the past. Let me just go full screen here with screen share. And this is Nancy Teeple is her name. You guys recognize her from our days at TGN. And she does exactly what you're... Yeah, Nancy's great. You see, this is her Twitter profile. As you can see, this is her own avatar work, her own banner work. She lists herself as a graphic designer. There's her commission structure right there in her profile. There's her art Twitter. She has a Patreon. She has her own website. She's on top of her marketing game in terms of being able to reach her and understand what her product is before you even look at her feed. But wait, there's more. Nancy has her commission sheet posted as the pinned tweet to her Twitter profile. I mean, you want emojis in emotes? $35, set of 5, blah, blah, blah. And you can just see the offering right at the top of her Twitter profile, right here. You don't have to guess about how you can hire this person, which is awesome. And then if you scroll through her feed, I might have to scroll for a bit, I don't know, but she will be retweeting people who make art, and she makes her own art that she does post to her feed from time to time. And there you go, art by Nancy Teeple right here. And she's posting her own art on her profile. Okay, so that's one way to make yourself discoverable. Don't be shy about it. The other part is go to different subreddits. This one's just YouTubers, but there are about 7 different subreddits: YouTubers, Mixer, Twitch, YouTube Gaming, different ones that have nothing but creators talking about creator issues. And as you can see, there's posts. I just happened to pull this up. There's posts in here called work needed posts on the YouTubers subreddit, for example. In the work needed posts, we'll ask for voice actors or graphic designers or thumbnail designers and what have you. You just have to keep your eye out here and be networking with people within these subreddits. People get booked nonstop. I was active on these subreddits a bit in the past for my coaching services, and I got nonstop requests to where I had to start turning down requests, so particularly through the subreddit. Okay, so I hope those practical tips helped you out there, Zypher. Hopefully that was good for you. Cool. So we need to continue to talk about some of the other issues, basically, that come along with working from home. And some of those, let's talk about the nuts and bolts for a moment, about how you have to change your lifestyle, your workflow, and the way you think about getting jobs. So let's talk about your lifestyle and workflow. We only have 5 minutes left on the show. So feel free, you guys need to drop your questions in here if you want them answered, because we have to go to work in 5 minutes. We have to go like literally do social media management, video production, and all the things we're talking about in 5 minutes. And we're just going to end the broadcast. That's the way this is going to go. So ask your final questions. Workflow and lifestyle changes in office to remote. Ross, what are the big differences there that people need to keep in mind? Now, like they already know that it's different, but what are the things that, having done it for years, that you'd want yourself to know on day one?
Well, let me start that over. Okay. So from day one, the biggest thing you're going to notice is communication is obviously going to be incredibly different. Doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be worse, but that's something you got to adjust to. But the most important thing that I've learned that you have to adjust to is you're going to be putting in a lot more hours working from home than what you are working in an office, because you're tempted. There's that, you got your office, kitchen table, whatever it may be. There's always that temptation to go do that. So it's very important to stay on a specific schedule so you don't burn yourself out. For instance, I'm up at 5 a.m. every morning. I get my work done, and then I have the afternoon to kind of finish up all the little tidbits and little things that I need to do, work with the communication with people, finish up projects and stuff like that. But the majority of my work is done early in the morning when nobody can bother me.
I love it. Perrin, how about you? How do you stay productive? How do you keep things going remotely? Like, you are a monster when it comes to being able to like take in information on social media, like take in all these feeds, stay on top of things, plus do these little nitpicky details with ad campaigns. Like, how do you maintain your focus with highly complicated tasks like that and a flood of information with social media management? Like, how do you keep your focus, dude?
There's a whole lot there that I won't be able to talk about in 4 minutes, but I can go kind of a highlight. The main thing is work environment. So if you're working from home, and Ross, you kind of got to this a little bit in terms of like, I'm designing my home space where, 5 a.m. to whenever is my work time, but also make a space within your home that is your workspace, so you have to protect that workspace too. So you have to do things like don't play in your workspace. Like, it's very tempting, especially when, for us who are also all gamers at the same time while we're working, to like easily just swap over and start playing video games or something. Protect your work time and your workspace. It's for work. Make your energy about work. So like, have a ritual in the morning. What I like to wake up, grab a shower, shave, get cleaned up, get dressed. Even though I'm sitting at home, and I don't 100% always do this. I mean, sometimes I wear PJs while I'm working, etc. That's one of the perks. But like, I do feel more productive when I get dressed and I treat it like a real job. Yep. And I treat the environment like a real workspace. And when I do that, then I can focus. And that focus is 100% of where it's at. Because when you can focus, you can get so much more done from home, because you generally have less interruptions. You don't have a coworker coming in asking you questions. You don't have, your friends at work just having casual conversation. You can just 100% focus on getting tasks done. And so not only protecting the work environment, but setting it up for success. So I highly recommend multiple monitors. And while you're saying like, how do I take in so much information? That's because I've got 3 screens around me here with information. Now, don't overload yourself. I've been doing this for a while, so I can do that. I would say start with 1 or 2. 2 monitors highly increases your productivity. You can reference one thing on one screen while you're working on another. And that's really, really important for you to get a lot of work done. So treat your workspace like a workspace, protect it, have your family and your kids respect that you're working during this time, and so that you can focus. You'll get so much done in just a small amount of time. You'll be like, wow, this is so much different than going to a workplace. You're so much more productive here.
That totally makes sense. A couple things I put in a video on my channel recently. I'm going to rattle them off quick because we got to go in 2 minutes. Taking a break every hour and a half to go exercise, walk outside, play basketball, whatever it may be. That's something I do. You've got to step away from your computer and walk outside and get sunshine on your body. Your body is designed to want that. And if you don't give your body that, then you're going to be unhappy, and you're going to be sitting there wondering, why am I depressed? And you're going to be thinking all these thoughts about why things are going poorly. And it's just because you didn't do the basics to take care of your body. Everybody goes through that. You just need to just nut up and do take care of yourself, do the normal taking care of yourself things. The other part is when you're working from home, you aren't going to get socialization like you would in an office, water cooler talk, those sorts of things. And you might not think you're lonely because you're interacting with people digitally, but you need some in-person interaction. So at least once per week, you need to go out to the bar. You need to go meet up with some physical, real life friends if you can, to stay happy. Your body needs that. Like your body is designed to want to look some people in the face and physically be around them. If you don't do that, it's going to be the same case. I don't know if I really like working from home and what happened about my life. And you're going to be wondering about all these problems with yourself. It's not a problem. You're just not giving yourself the basic things that you need, that you're programmed to want to need. So those are very important. Okay. In our final minute here, what we're going to have to say is we got to go to work. So we're going to be live every day at 9 a.m. Eastern time. And if you want to catch the show, go ahead, and the main destination that we're going to be going live on is at Digital Drop Pod. I'm going to put it right down here on Twitter. That's a great place to catch up with us, to catch the show. And there you go, at Digital Drop Pod on Twitter. And we are also going to be uploading the replays of these to our YouTube channel, Digital Drop Podcast YouTube channel. If you want to catch out the replays. So your feedback's welcome. Guys, you want to do this again next week?
Yeah. Sounds good to me. I like it.
Yeah, I'm in.
I've had better. I've had better. Guys, thank you so much for coming to the stream.
But I'll do it.
Send us your questions, tweet them at us at Digital Drop Pod. If there was anything in the show that you felt was helpful, share it with a friend. Tell them to come to the show. We will basically give you free consulting on the show, and we charge a lot of money. It's not a brag, but we'll just answer your questions for free. Because we just want to help you right now, because these are some crazy ass times and we want you guys to succeed and we want to share our knowledge with you. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Adios, amigos. Go crush it. You can make the work from home thing work. Let's go.
You can do it, guys. Do it.